Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to do sentiment analysis for YouTube video comments using UiPath Integration Service and OpenAI. So let's get started. UiPath Integration Service provides a wide range of connectors to so many platforms. If we filter here on the social media category, we can see that there are quite a few connections to Facebook, LinkedIn, X, and YouTube. For this particular video, we will be focusing on the YouTube connector. If we filter on the artificial intelligence or AI category, we can see that UiPath provides a good range of connectors to the most famous AI platforms that we currently have in the market. For example, we have Amazon Bedrock, Anthropic Claude, OpenAI, Watson AI, and so many other connectors, as you can see. For this particular video, we will be focusing on OpenAI connector. Now, if we open the YouTube connector, we can see that by default, we have a good list of activities that you can utilize in your automation project. For this particular video, we will be focusing on list all the comments activity that we see here on the screen. To use that connector, you actually need to connect to YouTube, and that's the button we see here at the top right corner. If we click on that one, we will open a new tab where we should provide some information in order to connect to our YouTube account. For that, we have two options actually. If we want to use OAuth 2 as an authorization method, we need to get a client ID and client secret from our account. The other method is using an API key, and we need for that an API key from our YouTube account. To get those API keys or client ID and client secret, there are some steps that you need to follow inside your Google accounts in order to obtain that information. Similarly, for OpenAI connector, we need to open the configuration settings, and from here we can see that we have a couple of activities that we can use. One is using the old models that we used to have in chatgpt, like chatgpt 3.5, for example, and some other models. For that, you can use that generate text completion. But for the most recent models available in OpenAI, we can use generate chat completion activity, which is the one we will use in this demo. And similar to what we've done in the YouTube connector, here we need to connect to OpenAI. If we click on that, we will get that configuration screen where we need to specify the API key that we need to get from our OpenAI account. And again, for that, there are some steps that you need to follow in order to obtain that API key. So once you connect to your YouTube and OpenAI accounts and you go to the connections tab here under the integration service, you should be able to see the two connections available here, and both of them should be showing as connected. If you click here on the three dots, you can see that there are a few options available for each connection. For example, you can check the connection if it's still healthy or not. Another option is you can edit the connection. If you have a new API key, for example, you can go here and configure the API key. You can delete the connection as well if you want to delete it and if it's not used anymore by any of your automations. Another option here is you can actually edit the name of the connection. If you click on that pencil button, you will be able to change the name of the connector, something like that. And then afterwards, you can use your connections in your automation projects easily. All right, so now let's see how we can do the sentiment analysis that we want to do using Studio Web. So I have created this sample project where I first get all the comments that I want for a particular video, and then I loop through the comments, adding them to a particular list, and I will explain to you why I'm doing that in a minute. And then I'm passing all these comments to OpenAI ChatGPT, asking him to give me back the output as the sentiment of the comments, and then I'm just logging those messages in my log. All right, now let's have a look at the get comments activity. So that's basically the list all comments activity that we have from the YouTube connector. So if I search for this one here, this is the activity I'm using, list all comments. So we already added it, and I just renamed it to get comments. So if I click on it and look at the properties of this activity, we can see here that we need a connector to YouTube, and that's basically the connector we configured a few minutes ago. And then we need to pass the video ID or the channel ID. For this particular demo, we have already an ID of a particular video that we will pass to this automation. And also you have some capability here to filter the comments that you will get out of that video. But for this particular video, we will not do that. You have some other options here that are quite useful. For example, you can specify the maximum number of records that you will retrieve from this activity. So for example, if you have 1,000 comments on a particular video, but you're only interested in the last maybe 20, then you can specify that here. And also you have the text format that you will retrieve from the comments. You have either HTML or plain text format. And finally, the output will be in the form of comments, list of comments, basically. Now, you might be wondering what and where these two parameters are configured, the video ID and the comments count. These are basically two arguments that I have configured in this project. So I can pass any custom video ID that I want, or maybe customize the number of comments that will be retrieved by this automation. So I configured that under the data manager. If I go here, you can see that you have the option to create arguments. So I created one argument for the comments count, and the default value that I specified here is 20. And for the video ID, I configured another argument as text, and for the default value, I've put this particular ID for my video. Now, once I got the list of comments from my video, I am passing these comments to a for each activity. That for each activity will basically take the comments list as an input and will iterate through these comments one by one. Inside the for each, I have this activity, which is basically adding each comment text to a collection. So what I'm doing here is I have a list called comments list, and I'm passing to that list the actual text that I got from the comments. This list that we got from the get comments activity is basically a list of objects. So if we open these objects here, which is these comments, we can see that we have a lot of properties that we are not really interested in, like the length of the comment, the rank, and if we even dive deeper, we can see the replies, for example, the video ID, and so many other properties that we are not really interested in. What we are interested in is the actual text. So we can find that here under the top level comment, under the snippet, and then we can find the text original or the text display. That's basically the comment that we want to pass to ChatGPT. So we need that expression here in order to extract that comment from YouTube list. All right, now let's see the fun part of this project, which is the generate chat completion activity. So I've added this activity in here, and on the right hand side in the properties, you can see that we need to specify a connector to OpenAI. This is the one we configured previously. And then we need to specify which model we will use for this particular activity. So as you can see, we have quite a few options. For this demo, I'm using GPT-4o. And now I need to pass a prompt to that activity so that ChatGPT can understand it and give me back some output. So if I open the expression editor here, telling the prompt or telling ChatGPT that given this list of comments, give me back the general sentiment as positive, negative, or neutral. Give me the confidence score as a percentage from 1 to 100. The format of the output should be exactly in this format: sentiment, and then the sentiment value, comma, confidence, and confidence score. And I'm asking ChatGPT not to add any extra text. And here at the end, I'm just passing the list of comments. So I just wrote this simple expression to concatenate all the comments that I already added to my comments list, and then passing the entire text to ChatGPT. This generate chat completion activity has lots of properties, as you can see here, but the most important one that you need to be aware of is the maximum number of tokens. So ChatGPT expects to receive a number of tokens in the prompt, and that number of tokens has a maximum. So if you exceed that maximum, you can probably run into errors when you run this process. So you will need to implement some sort of logic in your process to make sure that you are within the allowed range of tokens. There is a very nice tool from OpenAI as well that can give you the estimated number of tokens that will be utilized by OpenAI when you pass any text to it. So for example, I passed here this text and it gave me back the estimated number of tokens that will be used by ChatGPT or OpenAI when it receives this text. If we scroll down to the bottom of the activity settings, we can see the output. So you'll get a couple of outputs, and the top generated text and the generate chat completion. This last output has more information that you might or might not be interested in, but just to get the exact text retrieved by ChatGPT or OpenAI, we will need the top generated text. And that's basically what we will pass to the log activity here as the last activity. And then let's see what will happen when we run this process. All right, so let's test that on a video that has some negative comments. So I have configured this video ID here. If you go to YouTube and open that particular video, you can see from the comments that most of them are basically negative. So let's run that and see if the process will give us the expected outcome. So what we are doing here, or what we are seeing, is the comments are getting retrieved and it's passing through all the steps that we have configured in the process. And in the output, we can see here the log message, which is basically negative sentiment, and the confidence of the model in this case was 85%, which is pretty good. Now, let's pass another video. So I have another ID here for another video. This video is basically having some positive comments in it. So I'm expecting the process to give me back a positive sentiment. So let's run that and see what happens. All right, so as you can see here, we got a positive sentiment and the confidence of the model was 83%, which is very good output. And that's all. I hope the content was useful. If you like that video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next videos. Thank you.